Okay, okay. Welcome to another episode of Don't Have a Friend, and I'll just be channeling and like see what comes up. it's, uh, it's funny, but if someone doesn't know how to talk, how will they talk like this? Yeah, actually, when you can like awaken, so does your vocabulary increase. You just know stuff like you just gain so much intelligence. It's strange, but yeah, and you have an easier time with learning, I suppose, because your brain is perhaps better than the average brain. I'm just making like, but you, or at least your interpretations of things will be very, very like accurate and very good. And thus you will become more vocal and you would like learn language very fast. Yeah, yes. One of the perks of enlightenment is also like language apprentissage. It's fucking happening at faster pace. My English got way, way, way better because of this, actually. Is it like this that you learn to speak English? Yeah, kind of like, yeah. I was good at speaking English, but I suppose the more you talk in English, the better you get at it. And the more like, but if I'm saying like, come on, let's go and just destroy YouTube so people cannot do things like this. Because I know I'm mad because I know they don't learn not by learning but by doing this. Actually, it's a lot of learning. The whole process is learning and is continuous discipline. Though this is just one like side of it that is a plus, but it's continuous discipline after and before awakening. Continuous discipline. So and you I suppose once you get enlightened, you never leave the path of learning because you realize all life is like learning and you never leave the path of learning. What if I wanted to get it and just be like, I know everything and I don't care about reading or going to work a 9 to 5 job and I hate everyone and I just can be now and they come talk to me and say any question and I just answer them. Hey, it's like that they are. They say, ask me anything, I answer you. And they just sit back and they relax. Yeah. But I suppose getting enlightened is like one thing, but staying enlightened is also another thing. You could have like gotten enlightened, but then like it's almost like your third eye opening and then closing. It needs continuous discipline for you to actually stay enlightened. It's more like a connection. And I suppose someone who has done it very long, their brain will have the connection stronger, and eventually it's kind of like impossible for the third eye to close. That's kind of like the eternal Sharingan if you watch Naruto. But at first, it's not eternal. So, but if you do that, you can like merge your brain and you have your third eye like permanently like open. Then you can like good. Then you can do that. But even so, when you do that, like you just feel responsible. You won't be that lazy as you think you would be. Is it because why do I feel responsible? Because the third eye chakra is also the seat of command. It is the seat of command, meaning it empowers whomever wields it to do shit for others. And and kind of like it's a very kind of like selfless but leaderish chakra. So it it kind of like makes you like take on new things, and that's just how it works. Like it's the level of vibrancy it has. It demands like service to like humanity, and actually yeah, that's why you have the concept of the bodhisattva. What is the bodhisattva? It is an enlightened being whose goal is to awaken all other people on earth, and like most enlightened beings will have that goal also. It's almost automatically placed there because people would not understand them if they don't search for enlightenment, and it'd be like they live in two different worlds. So it's just like that. Hey, is it good to be a bodhisattva? Yeah, actually it is. But they don't get enlightened all the time, but they still work for people. How is it? Yeah. But a bodhisattva is one who can like places others before like themselves. It is also known of some bodhisattvas who abstain from enlightenment to work like family duties, but those who awaken eventually like become very humanitarian. And actually, awakening is very like world wild. Like you just think in terms of the world, even like it's mostly like that. Like you think in terms of the world, it's also associated with the element of air, and the element of air has to do with like groups, big crowds. So like the world at large. And once you awaken, I don't think family duties or like or like you'll be good at them. You'll be good at them, but your call will be beyond family duties, beyond your country, and it will be kind of hard for you to be a selfish leader who can like protect the interest of one cause to sacrifice another. It's kind of like impossible. So why, why would I then get enlightened? It's fun. It's fun. First of all, you would never have to worry about whom to talk to, and I think the circumstances around you will have less power over you. You can still function, and you can still kind of like, you know, like do this channel, talk with people, have people over, and when someone comes over, you're already like spoken about like so many things, so many important things, and you're just like a well of knowledge, and it's kind of good. You can relax, close your books, and then just sit and talk as you gain knowledge because you discuss different topics. You see them in different lights, and you can just be neutral and understanding and kind of like progress like that. But you still read to kind of like further everything you can. But also, it's just good, like because of the high level of prana that you have of spiritual energy. You're also a good sportsman, a good athlete. So many perks. You can basically live good if you just have like a roof and food on your table every day. You can live very simple and be happy, like very happy without that much. So that's kind of like the perk of it being very self-sufficient. So self-sufficient. So is it good to be like that? But if you were to like get in the hospital because you like fall from something, would you stop being enlightened? I don't really think so. I don't really think so. you might get sick, but once it is like a soul evolution also. It is a soul evolution also. It's something that happens from the level of the soul. But you work from the physicality and then you work on the mental plane and then it becomes eternal because it becomes like the way your soul or is then. Meaning like if your soul were to incarnate, it's like a highly advanced soul, but it's more like in the level of the soul. If you have like amnesia or something like that, you forget everything. It can happen even to an enlightened master, right? It's kind of hard, but even amnesia, it's just like trauma which forces the brain to like tap into some signals. So but if you have amnesia, I think as an enlightened being experiencing trauma, it's kind of hard to experience trauma because enlightened people have like the most fearless eyes in the world. Like they can take shit like crazy because they know this reality, this plane of existence so good. So in terms of trauma, there isn't that much dramatic that can happen then, and they've kind of like are at peace with death also, because part of enlightenment is also knowing death and transcending death. So it's kind of like, yeah, when you say knowing death and transcending death, why do you say that? Because it is like death also. When you evolve your consciousness, you are no longer like you were before. You are much more wise. And the transition can be felt like death. And it is like death when the consciousness like transcends realms and planes of existence. And you can like travel in this astral plane and you notice how your soul is evolving in the cosmos and how your consciousness is getting like bigger and bigger, wider and wider, and as you're gaining more and more knowledge into like religion, life, death, and just like all that. So you become a very good like occultic also because you have all the knowledge once your consciousness have penetrated those realms and transcended them, and then can like is it realms like that of people who are crazy? Yeah, but you would understand also the unconscious, the collective unconscious. You understand it very good, and you understand many things that the people we say are crazy, or maybe people who are near awakening, that you don't think, but they don't have a teacher. They don't know the Dharma. That's why they are in fear. So that's also one of the reasons why the enlightened master's duty is also to kind of like share the Dharma so that those who are like in between the realms can actually find their way by following the Dharma, by following the way, and kind of like not being lost. Because if you're lost in the collective unconscious and you kind of like don't know what you're doing, and to the people around you it seems like you kind of like crazy, you kind of like lost. But if only you knew the Dharma, then you could like save from that. And Dharma is of course like meditation, prayer, right eating, right attitude, like right interpretations, and all that. So it's very important. And to those who don't know the Dharma, I'd advise doing martial arts because, like, if you see in China, in those like provinces of China, they do both because the monks must be trained in both physical and like spiritual, and they do both like kung fu to support the Dharma because you need some rigorous activity to kind of like keep you. It demands that high level of discipline. So it's important to to know the Dharma, and those who don't know the Dharma and consequently because of that cannot progress that much in their journey of awakening is it's kind of bad. But that's why we do these works also to kind of like support the earth community so that everyone who searches and wants to progress in the path of awakening can do so with further and more knowledge until they can themselves interpret messages directly from the collective unconscious and be fully awakened and become bodhidharma, an embodiment of the light, until they can become an embodiment of the light and like a well of knowledge also, and teach others and spread the world of 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 the prophets of Jesus, of of awakening, of Krishna, and all that. Yeah. So wait, did you lose what? What happened? What do you lose for you to get enlightened? I don't think. Do you lose like money before you get enlightened? I don't really think you lose money per se, like so. But it is a process, but also a time when one must go into introspection. What is introspection? Looking at oneself and kind of like meditating and kind of like working hard. But because maybe of the phase of introspection, when you're going through an enlightenment, you maybe not working that much because it's kind of like, but you're working because you're kind of like studying. You can see it like taking a very intensive course, and of course, then the course is enlightenment because the final gift of the course is you graduating by expanding your consciousness and your awareness beyond the plane of existence that is known, beyond what is mortal, and becoming like more than just ordinary. So it is like school, and I advise anyone who searches the path of enlightenment to see it and follow it seriously, just like school, like studying. Like you can do that, like have hours of class. Like okay, I'm going to like practice my pranayama or my meditation or my qigong, and I'm going to meditate this much time, and you do that like a class, and you do that for like for like you do that yourself, and you do that yourself. You structure your day like a class. Okay, 12 in the morning. I'm 12 in the in at noon. I'm doing that until like 3, and I'm doing that like four days a week. I'm meditating and I'm doing the work necessary. I'm taking these classes so that I can like travel good in the collective unconscious, decode all the messages, and allow my body to detox and transcend this plane of existence. And of course, it is work, and I'm going to sun gaze and do all the things that I'm supposed to do, and also read the Bhagavad Gita, maybe read verses from the Bible, and do shit like that. It's cool, but this is more the phase of school, I suppose, after like high school or after university. For some, that you do it alone. You sit and you take your classes so that you can transcend this plane of existence and have more widen horizon and take up the universal call to become, yeah. Yeah, like that, and then share wisdom with others. Okay, this, but we can like cut this here because no, we're not supposed to say it. We're gonna la 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 la. Okay, I think like we had a good talk about this. Wait, I want to say something. I want to say one last thing. How did it feel when you did you kill someone to get enlightened? No, no, no. It's impossible. But if you work martial arts, you work to fight and kill people. Isn't it killing someone? No, 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 no. That's the point of martial arts. Martial arts is actually like a key that transcends the physical plane. Because when an athlete reaches a state of martial art, at first they reach a state of competitiveness or first of learning, then they reach the state of competitiveness, and then beyond the state of competitiveness, there is a stage that is called kind of like the self leader like stage, and athletes such as like Simone Biles have reached that stage and even beyond. I think the stage where you're competing with only yourself. What does that state bring? It is a way to kind of like push yourself beyond what is beyond your limits. So martial art is not to kill people. Like it's supposed to take your body and your atman and your soul beyond this physical plane. Because every time when you reach the state of like competing with the self and you can like know your limits and you transcend those limits. Beyond those limits, what awaits? It's enlightenment because it's like that. It's like that. So it's like you reach the state of flow. If you watch Dragon Ball Z, it's like when the Saiyans finally reach a state of such high energy that everything is flowing, like that they see like movement that is happening fast at slow motion, and their senses are so aware, so beyond this plane, kind of like ish. But it's training and all that. But there is a point when you reach, you just feel enlightened because the masculine and feminine polarities in you have risen and kind of like, united in all planes of life, and kind of like connected to the point that your consciousness is enlightened and can take messages from the collective unconscious and bring it to the conscious light, talk with it, and then kind of like draw more wisdom in it, and then kind of like evolve, and you become an embodiment of Dharma because you are transcending limitation. So that's why it needs to be that rigorous also. It's not to kill, but it is to transcend this plane. And of course, self defense, because there are many stages. In the many stages of enlightenment, you will struggle with many things, maybe, and you need to be that self-sufficient, and like training in the arts is good because it teaches you to be less dependent, and you cannot be like always codependent on people around you. You need something, a passion, to take away the the nitty gritty that can arise from just, yeah. So it is a way to transcend. So did you kill someone for you to reach that level? How can you train with a weapon like a sharp like a sword, or like any weapon, and say it's not to kill someone? It is for the mastery of the art, the perfection of the art. That's all it is. So like in Chinese, in the Chinese, or in like in the East, you would find most enlightened masters are also highly evolved Qigong masters, and they are not killers. They are just like how do I say it? Spiritual warriors. Yes, because you become in sort a spiritual warrior, and of course there are many things you must protect: the spiritual way of life, and you must teach it. So it's kind of like that. You become a spiritual warrior, and it is not to kill; it is to preserve life. Like many spiritual warriors don't even like eat, and we are forbidden to like kill because that's the way the Dharma evolves. That we don't even eat animal meat because killing is forbidden, and just like that. And of course it's kind of like impossible to kill also because of the high level of empathy that comes along with that level of like. But of course someone can still commit such an act, but but one should definitely not do such thing. It looks like you want to fight someone and just continue to fight them until they cannot fight back. Isn't it like that? Then it's like you want to fucking fight them like that. It's more like the progression of the sport. But of course, it makes you a great fighter also. Like it's just what it is. But the practitioner does not practice with the intent of taking life. No, it is with the intent of giving life more meaning and more like entertainment. So that's kind of like it. Autum.